everyone, welcome to here. Today we're going to talk all about what an octave is, okay? Maybe you know an octave as the 8th note of a scale, and that's true, but what does that even really mean, really? Is this C note the octave of this C note? I'm confused. I'll tell you. So to understand what octaves are, we need to first line up the notes of the musical alphabet. So starting from A, ending on A, and all the notes in between. Okay? And on the fretboard, the musical alphabet is mapped out in the same order, just stretched out across one string. I need to sneeze, I need to sneeze, I need to sneeze, I need to sneeze, I need to sneeze. If we take this open A note here, da, 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 the next A note you see in this string of notes is going to be that A note's octave. So that would be right here. Oh man, I'm not gonna sneeze, am I? Same thing for the musical alphabet written out, okay? The next A note after the first A note is gonna be that A note's A note octave. Okay? Okay. And in fact, these A notes here are each other's octaves, right? This A would be the octave below this one, and this one would be the octave above this one. Okay? And so I know that doesn't really explain much of what an octave is, but don't worry, I'm just setting the scene here, okay? I'm setting the scene. We're on a beach. We're on a beach, and there's a little hula hoop girl. She's selling trinkets. And you like trinkets, don't you? I do too. Who doesn't like a good beach trinket? Ooh, my hands are all orange from my spray tan. Teehee. Isn't that great? Okay, Octaves. Wonderful. But now you're probably thinking, what about the other A notes on the fretboard? There are other A notes. What about this one? Huh? What about that A note? Where does this A note fit into the octaves of these A notes? What? Here's the thing, it doesn't. The end. And so why? Why does that A note not belong? What am I even talking about? What are you even talking about, Miss Church? Octaves are not just arbitraries. Totally. Octaves are not just arbitrary concepts, okay? They're determined by the frequency relationship between two notes. And so here is where the concept of octaves becomes tangible and not just floof. Not just, yeah, it's the 8th note of a scale. Yeah, that's an octave. Okay, yeah, that tells me a whole lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Fred. So what an octave actually is the doubling of frequency. So if we take the hertz of this open A note, it has a hertz of 110. And so since octaves are the double of your starting note, its octave should have a hertz of 220. And the A note right here that we've established as the octave does in fact have a hertz of 220, which is exactly why this A note is the octave of that one, okay? You gotta be Sil, you gotta be Bill, you gotta be Siller. And so now, all the notes in between this open A, and this A here, all have a hertz in between 110 and 220. And so now back to our A note here. This note has a hertz of 440. 440 is way over 220. Way over 220. In fact, it's double, isn't it? And what determines octavancy? Doubling of frequency, right? Which means this 440A is the octave of this 220A. Wow! Wow! So we have just landed upon our next octave range. So our first octave range would be 110 to 220, and our next octave range is 220 to 440, and then so on until forever and always. And all the notes that have a hertz of 220 and 440 would belong to this new octave range. And so now on the guitar, observing notes and octaves is a little scattered, okay? Because, I mean, we had an octave up here, and then we had our another octave right there. So I get it. It's a little bit difficult to visualize, unlike a piano where they're all linearly up in a line, you know? So, but the concept's the same. And so you can think of octaves as years, okay? Every year contains the same set of months. But November 1995 and November 1738 are very different. They're very different. One of them I was born in, and the other one there's probably like polio. And I won't say which is which. And so the frequency of any given note on the fretboard is going to determine which octave range it belongs to. And so that's all. Okay, that's all. That's what octaves are. That's what octaves are. Okay? I'm gonna get some water. Pardon me. Did you know there's no coffee in coffee cake? Then there's no cake in your coffee. What should we talk about? Don't forget to go to megantracemusic.com for the 70s Den Guitar eBooks. Okay, we got 2 of them. Got the 70s Den Guitar Study eBook. It's a chord, scale, theory reference book, all organized in the Cage system. And there's the beginner guitar guide. Okay, it's gonna help you on your beginner journey. Everything you need's in there. It's in there. It's got aliens and it's got cookies. It does. They both got cookies. And keep an eye out for the Key to Music Theory World Tour. Woo! It's a course where we talk about the absolute fundamentals of music, where scales come from, where chords come from, the whole thing, okay? That's all. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about the federal deficit. Federal deficit is really deficient. We can't be deficient in federals. Okay? Federals are really cool hats. And if we don't have them, we got a problem. That's all, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all that you do. Don't forget, if ever you take yourself to the kennel and they won't give you a treat, just tell them you're gonna take their donkeys. Don't forget, sometimes when you go to the pharmacy and you walk in, and you realize, I don't want to go to the pharmacy. I wanted to go to the Cosmodome. It's a dome with cosmos. How did I get here? I wanted to be amongst stars and galaxies. And instead, I'm among Band-Aids and foot cream. What you could do, you go to the clerk. You say, how do I get out of here? They'll probably tell you. And then you'll answer, thank you. You'll leave, you'll get in your car. You'll drive. You'll take some turns. You'll end up in the Cosmodome. You'll walk in. You'll say, this is great. This is what I've waited for. Just remember, they give discounts on Tuesdays. So go on Tuesday. Toodles.